When I've taught on the Gospels in the past, one of the things I've tried to highlight is different understandings of discipleship that are embedded in each of the Gospels, because each of the Gospels gives us a different presentation of Jesus, different portrait of Christ, and therefore a different portrait of what it means to be a disciple. So Mark places a great deal of emphasis on the suffering of Jesus and on the way of Jesus' sufferings. I wasn't here for Rich's lecture, but I imagine that he talked a good bit about the way of Jesus and the emphasis on Jesus as the suffering Messiah. One of the structural features of Mark is the function of the phrase Son of God, a Davidic title. It's used right at the beginning of the book to describe Jesus to the reader, but then the characters in the book are confused about who Jesus is, and they don't recognize him as the Messianic Son until you get to the very end and Jesus dies, and the only human being that ever recognizes that Jesus is the Son is the centurion. You have demons that recognize Jesus as the Son and they fear him, but even when Peter confesses in the middle of Mark's Gospel, he doesn't confess as he does in Matthew. Mark leaves off a portion of that confession because he's delaying that theme until later. Peter says, "You are the Christ," but he doesn't go on to say, "You are the Son of the living God" in Mark's Gospel, as he does in Matthew 16. So it's the centurion who sees the way Jesus dies and then knows that he's the Son of God, that his death is the revelation of his messianic character, of his royal messiahship. And so following Jesus on the way, according to Mark's Gospel, is being a disciple of that Jesus is following him on the way of the cross, taking up our cross and following him, and participating in his sonship by suffering along with him.